I am now live. All right, what's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I am going to talk about. Hang on. I am going to talk about remaining resilient, developing mental toughness, developing it's how to deal with isolation, how to overcome just when you, for example, you constantly, let's say you've been single for a long time, right? Or let's say you're not around like-minded people physically, right? And how to deal with like tough times with like uncertainty, where like no matter what you're trying to do, no matter how much steps you're trying to take in life, it just seems like nothing's happening, or like you're not getting as much results, or like just nothing seems to be going your way. Um, let's get to it. So whenever you're in a situation where like when no matter what life just seems like so uncertain, or like no matter what you do, it just seems like it takes so long just for you to get certain shit in life. um it's always important to like, one, acknowledge that like you're not alone, but also acknowledge that like, yes, you are going through some bullshit, you are going through some tough times, and that like it is annoying, and that it is frustrating, and that it just seems to go when you seem to keep going through like petty situations. But it's always important to be composed. So like it's okay to cry out your anger, scream, do what you got to do to release a lot of anger and sadness, right? But always keep your composure. Just always think about the bigger picture on why you're doing the things you're doing. Also try new things too. Like for example, if you're trying to find ways to make new money, and trying to make a YouTube channel, try to start your own business while you're working at a 9 to 5 job, or trying to look for a job, or do what you got to do to make more money on the side, so like you can save up and like to buy a car or something. Like for example, like let's say you work at a job that doesn't pay you as much, right? And like yeah, let's say you work at a job that doesn't pay you as much. So and like you're trying to get a car, but it's been so long since you had a car, right? So you can try and find ways to make new money. So you can try new things. Like you can make a YouTube channel, you can start your own business, you can start your own side hustle, right? But let's say once you do that, and like let's say you're not getting any results, or like let's just say that you like nothing seems to be happening, right? So it's always important to, one, is to keep grinding. Also trying to figure out what works and what's not working. You know what I'm saying? This is why you got to do a lot of soul searching, and this is why you got to know yourself, or like you got to try to figure out your results. This is why we're like, it's always good to be isolated. So when you're not around like-minded people, or if you're always single, that can be a blessing in disguise, because now you're dealing with like less distractions. I know it's hard because as human beings, we crave connection. We crave that romantic touch, right? But at times, sometimes life, or God is going to put us through some bullshit situations that we got to deal with, right? So it's always important to try to become your own best friend, but to also try to pick yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So if your business is not popping up as you would like to, try to find different ways to make it better. Maybe something you're not doing that's not getting as much results. Like maybe you're doing something that's not attracting enough subscribers, viewers, customers, money, and stuff like that. Maybe try to fix up your content, try to edit your stuff. Or when it comes to your work situation, try to improve your performance, try to build connections, try to meet new people so you can build more connections like that. So just do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I know it sucks. We're like you're stuck in a situation, and like you're trying to like move forward. Where like it just seems like nothing seems to be working in your favor. Like it just seems like no matter what, like it's always gonna go through some type of bullshit, right? So he's got to try to find new ways to overcome obstacles, and just deal with like tough situations like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, always have faith too. Like always have that strong belief system. If you believe in a higher power, believe in a higher power. Even if you're not religious or spiritual, try to believe in something that's kind of like greater than you can imagine, right? Because if you constantly put your belief into that, knowing that like it's gonna work in your favor, or if you have so much belief in yourself, no matter what tough situation you're going to go through, there is a solution, and there are ways to break free from those tough situations that you're going through. But I also view like when you're going through like isolating situations, or it's very tough situations where like, let's say for example, like you're always single, or like you're not making as much money as you would like to, or you're applying for a job, nothing seems to be working in your favor, or if you're working out, you're not getting as much results, or like just any type of results in general. If it seems like it's taking forever for you to get that versus the average person, then it's always important to have that strong belief in yourself, and that's where you develop mental toughness. If you're constantly going through situations like that, and if you're able to overcome those situations, which you will, because you want to be put into these situations for a reason, right? That means you're meant to overcome these situations. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to take because it depends on our free will, depends on karma, it depends on so much shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you are able to overcome this shit, then just the fact that you're able to overcome like a lot of uncertainty or things that aren't working in your favor, that in itself shows like how much you're developing a lot of strength and mental toughness. Because if you're constantly going through tough situations like that, the average person who hasn't gone through shit like that, who had an easy life, you're gonna have an edge over them because you're gonna have more mental toughness, you have more energy, you're gonna have more like persistence, you have more life experience, and you have more strength mentally and physically. You can have more persistence. Like you're more resilient, and once you're able to overcome those situations, and once you finally reach success, you're going to keep on going. You're not going to settle because you know what it's like to hit rock bottom. You know what it's like to not have shit. You know what it's like to constantly work the ass off, and nothing seems to be popping off, right? It could come in like in a what's the word? It could come in a fucking relationship, right? Where like you're always single, but yet you know you're good looking. You know you put yourself out there. You know you take care of yourself than the average person. But a lot of people just ain't shit, right? So you just can't seem to find the right partner. Don't give up. Keep working on yourself. Keep doing the healing work, and then eventually you will attract that partner. You know what I'm saying? It's bound to happen if you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it sucks too because like I feel like life, and there is a saying too, like life is not fair, which is true because like you just see people who didn't do shit to earn shit. Like sometimes I see people who haven't done shit, but yet they're able to attract a romantic partner, or people who haven't done shit, but they seem to make a lot of money, or like seems to be working in their favor, and they haven't gone through shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I've heard from spiritually is because they tend to be like a weaker spirit, and you tend to be, and they tend to be like a weaker spirit. I don't know why I keep starting over my words, but and I've heard it from other people and YouTubers, and shout out to Chauncey when he mentioned that like the tougher your spirit, the more bullshit, the more obstacles, the more petty shit you're gonna go through, because only for you to overcome these situations. The stronger the spirit, the more tests you're gonna go through. I don't know why life is like that, but it is the way it is. Whereas the weaker your spirit, then the more easier life is gonna be for them. And shout out to him for mentioning that. You know what I'm saying? And it's true. You know, because I see this shit happening. But this is why it's always important. But you can look at it in a good way. Like if you're constantly going through some hard times, some fucked up situations, or like just stuff that seems to not be working in your favor, just look at it in a positive way. And there's so much benefits to when you're going through this shit, because you develop mental toughness, you develop a lot of resilience, and you also develop a lot of life experiences as well. Because like I feel like one of the most important things a human could have that ain't no one could take away from them is life experience. People could take money from you. The system could take money from you. You could lose your arm, you could lose your leg. But what life can never take away from you is your life experiences. You know what I'm saying? And it can be good and bad. Those are still valuable experiences, but more so bad, especially like obstacles and shit. Because think about it. Imagine going throughout your life, you're just going through so much obstacles, you're just going through so much petty shit, you're just going through so much bullshit, so much spiritual warfare. You're constantly dealing with like toxic people, narcissistic people, just dumbass people, or like you just always feel different, or like you don't resonate as much people, or like you just don't seem satisfied with like all these jobs and careers you're working on, or like no matter how many times you try to like take like no matter how much what's the word, like no matter how much things you like, no matter how much fuck what's the I know the word, I'm just keep for some reason I'm studying around words, like no matter how much things you keep trying, and you just seem to not get the results, or like you just don't seem satisfied and shit, like that in itself could be a blessing in a way too. It could be a good thing, because just the fact that you experience all those things, now you experience so much things that you don't want, and now you know what you do want. But also like you know what it's like to go on the other side. You know what it's like to experience being on the other side versus the average person who maybe they have an easier life and they didn't have to go through as much shit, as much bullshit, right? They don't know what it's like to hit rock bottom. They don't know what it's like to be isolated. They don't know what it's like to feel different. They don't know what it's like to experience uncertainty, knowing that like, damn, am I taking the right path in life? Am I doing the right thing? They don't know what it's like to put in the extra work, put in the extra like sacrifice. They don't know what it's like to dig deep within yourself so you can become your own best friend, so you can believe in yourself. They don't know what it's like to believe in a higher power, or just something where like it forces you to have faith in order for you to achieve anything you want out of life, right? Or like they don't know what it's like for you to experience a lot of deep, hard healing work, like we're constantly healing from trauma, from painful experiences. They don't know what it's like to experience that, and this fact that you experience that yourself, no, like nobody could take that away from you. You know, even if you're not overcoming situations as you would like to, or even if you're constantly feeling stuck, just the fact that you're even in that position, that in itself, in my opinion, should be like an honor. Because like, think about how crazy it is. Think about how amazing it is just to be put into these fucked up situations. It's not even fucked up. It's just hard. Like it's a test. Look at tough situations that either it could be any situation. Like maybe you feel depressed. Maybe you just feel like just alone. Maybe you just feel like something's missing. You know what I'm saying? View that as a test. Just the fact that you yourself have to go through all this shit, even when it comes to addictions. It can be anything in life that seems like a challenge that's hard for you to overcome. Even with like anger and shit like that, it's trauma. You know, even if you're experiencing all those situations, that in itself should be an honor, because just the fact that you are able to go through these things, that in itself shows you how tough your spirit is, how tough your soul is, how much life kind of respects you, because life respects you so much that like it's willing to put you through so much bullshit just for you to live your life, just so for you could like get the things you want, and you gotta go through so much shit. That's how much life respects you, versus I mean, think about it. You think life's gonna respect someone who's not gonna go through some shit, or like who's not gonna experience hard times throughout their lives? Life, obviously, life's not gonna respect that person, or like that's kind of disrespect. That's kind of like life disrespecting that person or that individual. Like the fact that life is giving that person a handout, like they're not to experience trauma, they're not to experience being around dumbass people, they're not to experience like just hard times with finances, just bullshit situations like generational curses, generational trauma, addictions, life circumstances like that. Just the fact that life didn't even bother to give those people those things, that's like disrespecting those people, and that's like life saying, "Hey, fuck you guys," you know. Versus the life is gonna give certain people the opposite of what they're experiencing. That in itself, that means that life respects those other people, meaning that like, okay, I see this person, I see the spirit, I see the soul. I'm gonna place a lot of blockages. I'm gonna place a lot of setbacks. I'm gonna place a lot of pain, a lot of confusion, a lot of isolation onto your path, just so you could get basic shit. And clearly, that means life respects you. The fact that life is willing to put you through all this shit, because life knows how powerful you are. Life knows what you're capable of doing. And like I said too, it makes life more engaging as well. Because if you're constantly going through hard things, if you're constantly going through hard times, that in itself makes life really exciting. Even if you don't make it, or if you feel like you're not going to make it, right? It's always, well, you're always going to make it, because if you're put into these situations, then you're going to make it. You want to be put into these hard situations without a reason. You are going to make it, especially if you have an awareness. You are. But let's just say, which is not going to happen. But let's just say for whatever reason, you just don't see yourself getting out of these situations, or even if you have these thoughts coming across your mind, or like you just feel kind of doubtful. That in itself, in my opinion, it's an honor, because it's like the fact that out of everyone, you out of everyone, um, is able to experience all this hard shit, like all these tough times, like boredom, not feeling satisfied with life, depression, just feeling that void and shit, or just blockages, or like just anything where like you just can't seem to get. You know what I'm saying? That in itself should be an honor, because like no one is very rare for people to experience that shit. But yet you're experiencing all this shit. And I feel like, and I feel like this is a fact too. It's a fact that like when a person is constantly going through so much hard times, that in itself gives you the opportunity to become a lot closer with yourself, to develop a lot of intimacy with yourself. I feel like it's gonna be very easy for you to have a lot of access to like spiritual information, spiritual knowledge. You're able to get closer to your higher self. You get closer to your spirit. You just get closer to life. You just get closer to, some people believe in God. Some people believe in their spirit. Some people believe in their universe or the ancestors or whoever you believe in. It gives you opportunities to get closer to that, or even closer to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's true, because if you're constantly going through hard times, hard situations, and uncertainty, you have no one to go to but yourself. Even if you do have support, you still gotta go through these situations by yourself. So you have nowhere to go, or like no one to trust but yourself, right? Only you able to get you out. Only you are able to get yourself out of these situations. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a community, even if you have people around you, even if you have support, you still gotta pick yourself up. You still have your own heart. You still have your own legs. You still have your own heart and shit, right? And so that's how you gotta view situations when you're constantly going through some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But just know that you're not alone. Just know that you're not alone. I know it may seem unfair. I know it may seem so frustrating. You're just so like fucking fed up with like, damn man, like why is it taking me so long just to track certain stuff out of life? Why is it taking me so long just to track certain shit out of life? Or like, why am I always single? How come I'm not dating this person, dating that person, and I'm putting in so much fucking work versus the average person who doesn't do shit, but they're able to attract a partner? Don't even trip about it. You know, just keep working and just know that it's an honor and it's a blessing for you to go through bullshit situations like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to go through hard times, because there's so much benefits that you're gonna obtain, especially when you overcome these situations. It's gonna be like it's unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? And and just the fact that you're put into these situations, it forces you to become a lot more closer to yourself. You're forced to become your own best friend, especially if you're constantly hitting rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? And there's a saying too, where like when people say they hit rock bottom, they have nowhere to go but up. And that's true. You have nowhere to go but up. Yes, you can stay stagnant. You could not do anything, but you're gonna stay at rock bottom. So yeah, so you might as well go up. You might as well climb yourself out of that hole. You might as well dig yourself deep. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact, you know. But obviously, it's easier said than done. But that's how you got to look at these situations. And I'm not talking on my ass. Like all this shit is a fact. It's a fact. Um, you know what I'm saying? And you also develop a lot of wisdom too. So even if you experience those situations, you could look back and you could teach the future generations. You could teach other people on the types of shit you had to experience, how hard it was, how grueling it was, how much uncertainty you had to experience. You're able to teach those people. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you overcome these situations, you're able to uh, share the world. You're able to give the world your own knowledge, your own information, and like your wisdom and your experiences. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you uplift a lot of people. That's how you uplift a lot of spirits in this world, and then you give a lot of people more hope, because life is life. You know what I'm saying? The human experience is not easy. The human experience is very tough. It's very unpredictable. So a lot of people, they all go through their own suffering. They all go through their own traumas and errors, their own trials and errors. I meant to say. So if you're able to go through tough situations, you're able to relate a lot more people at a deeper level, versus the average person who didn't have to go through shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if you're constantly experiencing a lot of blockages or just a lot of trial and error in life, a lot of petty shit where you just can't seem to have any breakthroughs, um, don't even trip about it. Like, don't even like, there's nothing wrong with you, because like you're not alone, and like it's a good thing in a way. That's what makes leaders. That's what develops leaders and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's even a quote. There's a saying too. I forgot what's this quote. It says, "God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers." It's something like that. I think that's the exact quote, and it's true. Why would that quote even exist? Because it's a fucking fact. You know what I'm saying? And you see all the greats. You see all people who accomplish great things. You can agree that they all had to go through tough, hard ass situations. Not everyone, but like most grades, you know what I'm saying? Because some grades, some people, they have handouts, in my opinion, or like they're given success. But there are some grades who had to go through so much trial and error and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you're going through hard shit and like it just seems like no one can understand you, like no one knows what you're coming from, and no one can take that from you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what it's like to experience those things. Your feelings, your emotions, your experiences is real. Like you're not making it up. You're not going crazy because you know what you experienced. You know what you were feeling. You know the type of shit that you have to deal with. So only you know that you experience those things. So no one can take that from you. And just the fact that you're still alive, just the fact that you clearly have a strong ass purpose. You clearly have a strong ass mission. You know what I'm saying? And and I mean, it makes sense too, because like, why would life just throw all this bullshit towards you? I understand from a spiritual perspective, it deals with karma, it deals with like soul contracts, it deals with like your ancestral trauma and curses and shit like that. But just the fact that you even had to go through all this shit, that in itself shows you how strong you are. It shows how powerful you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound corny, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? It's very true. You know what I'm saying? So if you're currently going through these situations, don't trip about it. Don't even worry about it because you're going through these situations for a reason. You're meant to overcome these situations, and you're strong enough to go to overcome these situations. Obviously, you do have support. You do have people that do care about you. So it's always important to also ask for help, ask for support on anything. You don't have to go through shit alone. You know what I'm saying? But like, how am I supposed to like say this? It's always good to ask for help. So when I say that, like, only you are able to pick yourself up, I don't mean in a way where like you shouldn't ask for help. I don't mean it like that. I mean like it's always good to have help. It's always good to have a support system. But at the end of the day, it's you that have to pick yourself up because, like I said before, you have your own heart, you have your own arms and legs, you have your own mind. Even though you do have support, even though you do have people around you, it's only you. Only you're the person that's able to pick yourself up at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, so even though you do have support, you still have to rely on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm getting at. Like, if you're constantly going through hard situations, look at it as an honor. Learn from these situations as well. And like, I'm telling you, you're gonna gain a lot of wisdom. You're gonna gain so much like knowledge because there are times in my life where like all the bullshit I had to experience myself, like all the dumb shit I had to experience. They were like me being patient, had to wait so long just to get certain shit. Like all the uncertainty I had to experience, like it it forced me to have a lot of wisdom, a lot of like patience, a lot of like just knowledge to where I could share other people and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good feeling too, knowing that you experienced those things and you've been able to overcome it. Like it just shows how I can't really explain it. It just shows how much like what you're made out of. It just shows how powerful you are. You know what I'm saying? Not in an egotistical way, but like more so in an honorable way, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I feel like it humbles you in a good way, not a bad way, and it makes you a lot stronger mentally. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you develop mental toughness, and that's the thing too. When you're constantly going through bullshit situations like that, you develop a lot of mental toughness for the average person. You know what I'm saying? And no one can take that away from you. No one can take away from your experiences and your obstacles and your mental toughness. No one can take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? And it changes you. It changes you for the better. You know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. And just know that you're not alone. Life isn't gonna throw some dumb shit towards your way, but just know that like it's just a test. If you life as a test, it is, and like in any situation you're in, it's not gonna last forever. And eventually, you will get out of that situation. It's not gonna be permanent. It, it may seem like it's a permanent situation, but it's not gonna last forever. You will get away from these situations through people, life situations, through job situations, through like isolation. It could be anything, through addictions, anything. Eventually, it's not gonna last forever. You will overcome it. And that's all I gotta say. And have a good one. And enjoy your weekend. Peace.